Have you ever wondered if following God's commandment really pays off in your daily life? Does living by faith really make a difference in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions? Today's discussion is about what it means to obey God and why it might be more powerful than you think.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's conversation is what many of us struggle with at some point in our life, which is obedience to God. It sounds simple, right? I know. But when the world tells us to go one way and God tells us to go another, it can be complicated. So today's conversation is about the challenges of obeying God and why it is important to our everyday living. So let's get right into the video.
It's easy to say we trust in God when things are going smooth, but when temptations hit, it can be pressures to fit in a particular situation or environment. It can be the desire to pursue personal goals when we clearly know God is calling us to do something else. Or the voice that says, it's not that serious, it's not that deep. Obeying God feels kind of difficult. Our society doesn't make it easy. We are constantly told that we can have it all now, that success and happiness are found in doing things our own way. But have you ever asked yourself, what if God's way leads to something better than what the world offers? What do we do when following God doesn't seem to align with what we want in the moment? The Bible is filled with stories of those who chose obedience even when it was hard. Take Noah for example. God asked him to build an ark. Even though there was no rain in sight, the world around him didn't understand. But because Noah obeyed, not only was he saved, but he also became part of God's bigger plan. Or think about the story of Abraham. He was told to leave everything he knew and trust that God had a promise waiting for him. And he obeyed. We often forget that obedience isn't just about following rules, it's about trust and partnership with God. But then, what happens when we choose disobedience? Well, the consequences are real too. Just look at Jonah, who tried to run from God's calling. His story shows us that turning away from God's plan can bring hardship, confusion, and even isolation. And then there are real life testimonies from people around us, like we have fathers in faith. Many have experienced how God's direction may not have made sense at first, but the fruit of obeying Him got deeper fulfillment, peace, and even blessings that they couldn't have imagined.
So here's the big thing I want you to remember. Obeying God doesn't just change the outcome, it changes you. There is something transformative about trusting God in the small moments and the big ones. When you choose obedience, you open the door to a life that aligns with God's purpose, which is often more fulfilling than we realize. I've heard the story of someone who faced a huge career decision where following God's call meant letting go of a promising job. It wasn't easy, but the person has to step out in faith. And today she has so much joy and peace from following God's will. To wrap it up, obeying God isn't always easy. We face temptations, pressures, and our own desires that pull us in other direction. But the reward of obedience goes beyond what we see in the moment. It's about trusting that God has something greater for us. And when we choose to follow Him, we often find that His plan for our lives is far better than we could ever imagine. So now, I want to hear from you. What has been your experience with obedience to God? Have you seen blessing comes from following His commands, or have you always struggled with it? Drop your comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you want to learn more about this topic, watch out for my next video where I talk about how to stay strong in your faith when temptation seems too hard to resist. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I drop the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.